Welcome back to another episode of Suffer Up with Nate and Ryan.
Welcome back, folks.
Yes, yes. We're going to be talking about being handy.
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 I'll give you a hand.
Yes. Hand.
Good job.
We are fired up today. We had a couple of really good recordings this morning, and so we were sitting here just talking, and Ryan has some walkie-talkies sitting on his desk to get fixed from one of his girls that need the walkie-talkie fixed. So
yep.
We're going to talk.
Simple battery corrosion issue.
Yeah, that should be easy. It's a little baking soda and put it in there. It should clean it right up. Yeah. So the topic came up about just being handy and what being a man looks like in one of these areas. And some of us will have like trades, blue collar trades, whether you're a welder, cabinet guy, stuff like that. Those are obviously way more specialized skills that not everybody has, and we should lean on people building a community of like, hey, I know a guy who builds cabinets. Hey, I know a guy who welds. Yeah, but I can lay tile or whatever.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be an expert in something.
Yeah.
You shouldn't necessarily be an expert in all, but that saying, jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of none. Yeah.
That's like the saying that my dad has lived by his entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, if we can pick something we're good at or enjoy doing, just be good with your hands.
Yeah.
We as men need to work with our hands. Like that's how God designed it. We build things. We also destroy things. We're destructive by nature sometimes. But yeah, so like we were just sitting here talking in the shop, and I was like, dude, your wife should never have to change a light bulb.
Facts.
Yeah.
I think she should know how.
Yeah.
But if I'm present, which I am, then she should never have to.
Yeah. And I can serve her in that way by changing the light bulb.
Yeah.
Hey, so-and-so's light bulb's out. Can you go change it, please? You should hop up off that couch, put your phone down, and go over and change that light bulb.
Yeah. You said a good word there. You can serve her in that way. Like all husbands should be serving their wives and fixing stuff or doing little things like changing a light bulb that need to be done. Man, that's such a quick and easy way to serve her.
Yep.
Changing the oil in her car. Every guy should know how to change the oil in a vehicle.
Yep.
And why take it to the shop when you probably have a garage? Get a dang jack. If she questions you on that, be like, hey, I'm going to buy a jack. Yes, it's going to cost money, but I'll pay it off in like 2 or 3 times of doing the oil myself instead of taking it somewhere.
Yep.
Justify your new tools, guys.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But change your oil.
Yeah.
She'll think you're such a man when you come back inside and you got oil and black stuff all over you. And you're like, the job is done.
Exactly. It's done. Yeah, when it comes to cars, I can do a lot of auxiliary things. When it comes to the motor, I'm just going to stay away from that.
I'm not an expert. Like, I'm not a mechanic.
Right.
But I can change the brakes. I can change the oil.
Yep.
Windshield wipers, I got you.
That's it. Windshield wipers? Yeah. Change your windshield wipers. You don't need the service station to do that.
Actually more complicated than.
Yeah, especially those little clips, like the universal. Yeah, it's a pain. But yeah, like be good with your hands, guys. Like go out and try to challenge. And you know what? We have resources at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
You can be what's called a YouTube mechanic. Like pull up the YouTubes and Google 2001 Toyota Tundra brake change.
Yeah.
And you'll have tons of videos of people that know how to do this and do it all the time to do this stuff. It's not hard to change brakes. And you know what you're also doing? By doing that is you're saving your family money. And so you're learning something new. You're challenging your brain and your hands to do something, and you're getting it done.
Yep.
And it feels good when you're done doing that.
Yeah. Hopefully you're saving money. Sometimes you might mess something up. It might cost a little more, but that's a bought experience.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people pay to go to college. I pay for learning in my mistakes sometimes. One time I drained my transmission fluid instead of my engine oil.
Ooh.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, a mistake. It happens.
But I learned a lot from that, and I never did it again.
Yeah.
So it cost me a little bit, but still cheaper than college.
Yeah, that is very true.
Not that you shouldn't go to college, but
no,
I'm just saying people are willing to pay for education, but they're not willing to pay for a mistake that they make. Like, oh, just try and do it. And if you mess it up, it may cost you something, but it will be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what also that does too?
What's
is
that?
I usually know somebody who's good at this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So if I mess up, what it forces me to do, I'm a social person, but
Community.
insert somebody who's not that
Yeah.
socially inept. I got to pick up the phone and say, hey man, so I did this. What do I need to do next? And then you're building a relationship with that person, and hopefully that person is willing to help you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that person's a nice enough guy to come help you or at least give you some insight. So it's forcing you to build that or whatever. And I also, whenever I work on cars, it builds a level of patience
Oh, yeah.
within me.
You mean it doesn't go as quickly or as perfectly as you planned?
Never, ever. I literally just did the control arms on my truck.
Yeah.
And I called a friend to help me, and he's a mechanic. Like, he was a diesel mechanic, really knowledgeable, awesome guy. And I said, you comfortable with this? He's like, oh yeah, man, done countless of them, done hundreds of them. I said, okay, sweet, appreciate it.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Famous last words.
Yep. After 3 maybe or 4 runs to the hardware store to get tools that we didn't expect to need, and 7 hours later in the hot Florida sun, we got one lower control arm off. My truck is in pieces in his driveway. It's getting to be 2 o'clock. I looked at him and said, buddy, we're getting this thing put back together so I can drive it off your driveway, and I'm taking it to the shop. I threw in the towel. But that's okay, because I gave it my all. I gave it my all, and he said, buddy, don't think I've ever had one kick my butt quite like that one did. So
don't
even
you
a
love being the
mechanic,
first.
yeah, but even a mechanic is going to run into struggles like that, and being able to navigate it and work with your hands and be proficient. So,
but you probably learned a lot of other things during that time, like how you could use a certain tool to do something, or how you could apply leverage in one spot. And you're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Like, there's all sorts of little things that you learn throughout the process of something like that. Some kind of little struggle or suffering that will help shape you into who you are later. And the next time that you do something, you're going to be like, I've encountered this before.
Yep.
I'm just not going to mess with this bolt. Before we try and get this bolt off anymore, let's just take it to the shop where they've got a torch or whatever, and they can do it, because this is above my pay grade. And sometimes that's what it takes, is you learning from a past experience to learn, now I can't do this thing by myself, or I don't have the tools required for this.
It brings up a good point. So when I took a structural collapse class several months ago, and we had all age groups, all backgrounds. We had a guy who was a framer there. And for those of you who don't know, structural collapse in the USAR setting is you're basically building shores out of wood in a collapsed building or a partially collapsed building to be able to gain access and be able to provide support to a structure that's basically caving in on you or other victims. And so day one, we set up a cut table, got a measure, quickly realized people can't read a measuring tape. And then they said, it's going to be 13 and 3 small ticks. Wait, what'd you just say? So people reading a tape measure.
Yeah.
Or
the 16ths?
Yeah. So we navigated that. We had a lesson on reading a tape measure. And then we moved into actually building after we cut to the correct length.
Yeah.
Then we went into actually putting it together, and that requires driving different size nails. Well, if you've never driven a 16 penny nail, it takes a little bit of oomph to get the nail driven in. Well, we quickly realized that a lot of people in the class had never swung a hammer.
Oh my goodness.
Ever. And so people are choking up on the hammer, their hand position's incorrect, and they're just hacking at it, and they're not driving the nail correctly instead of, a really good framer, 1 to set, 2nd to drive. But, 3, maybe 4 hits to sink a 16 penny nail would be considered proficient.
Yeah.
A small detail like that. And what it made me realize was some of these guys have never even had a need to touch a hammer. They've never needed to read a tape measure ever in their life. And in my opinion, I think it's not wrong, but it's
sad.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. You wonder where that failure happened, did they have a dad that just didn't show them this stuff? Or maybe he didn't know? Or did they not have a dad and nobody else stepped up to show them these things? I just feel like there's some things that every man should know how to do.
Yeah.
Like changing the oil, changing a tire, swinging a hammer, reading a tape measure.
Yep.
I mean, these are all basic things that aren't hard by any means.
Yep.
It's not like you need to be super intelligent, rocket scientist to do it. You just need to be shown.
Yeah. And it's like, I didn't hate on those guys when we saw these things.
Yeah.
Like, really nobody, of course, some guys gave him a hard time, but it's like, okay, the mindset of, you've never been shown this, you've never been exposed to it, so let's teach you how to do it. And so then you get to be a mentor and show them and help them, and
It should
like,
be part of school.
yeah, yes,
Like a mandatory part of school.
yes,
I know my high school had a shop class, but
yeah, same
not
with ours.
mandatory.
Right.
I wish that was.
Yep. So, but with that too, back in the garage, I was working on something small on the workbench or whatever, and my son came out to check on me or whatever, and I just handed him a couple bolts and nuts that I had laying on the desk and on the workbench, and I showed him how to attach a nut onto a bolt. And at 3 years old, he was able to figure out which way the bolt should thread, or the nut should thread onto the bolt. And I'm like, wow, he's 3. There's some grown men out there that probably don't know which way a nut's supposed to turn on a bolt.
Again, not rocket science.
No. Like, you spin it one way, it doesn't work. But then when you're under the car and you're looking at a bolt that's in a weird angle, you still have to like think about it. But it's like, yeah, that rotates this way. And in the firehouse, I've had conversations on how to use a set of channel locks, or how to use a pipe wrench, or how to use, like, I asked one of the rookies to go grab a screwdriver, and I said, grab me a Phillips head screwdriver. Is that the plus or minus? Like, oh, wow. So if you are one of these people, we're not hating on you, but just take some time to put your hands on these tools, work with your hands, and there's a sense of gratification there.
Take some initiative.
Yeah.
I mean, to like lawn tools too, I've asked guys to, hey, get me a spade shovel.
Yeah.
Okay, which one's that? Is that the pointy one? Like, yeah, it's not the trenching shovel. It's the rounded one. Like,
yeah.
I just expect people to know, but
grab me the digging shovel, not the scraping shovel.
Yeah, not the flat one.
Yeah.
And not the really skinny pointy one.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of areas like that where people just, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So I get it. But at the same time, if you think that you're uncultured or unaware of what these things are, then find somebody who you know knows and ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, next time you're working on something with some old timer, be like, hey, what's this thing called again?
Yeah.
You know, he's probably not going to rag on you. And if he does a little bit, then, well, maybe you deserve it. He's toughening you up.
Yep.
But you're probably going to learn a ton just by asking questions.
Yep.
And people don't ask enough questions.
Yes.
They just sit there and watch. I can't tell you how many times I took something to my grandfather as a kid, or even a teenager, or my dad, to my grandfather or my dad, and said, like, hey, can you fix this? Can you help me?
Yeah.
Like those walkie-talkies that we were talking about earlier that I've got. My daughters are young, and so they're bringing it to me, Dad, fix this. At some point, that needs to change from, hey, can you fix this, to, can I fix this with you?
Yeah.
And if they don't ever ask that, then it's my job as a father to be like, yes, I can with your help. Come help me.
Yep.
I'm going to show you how.
Yep.
And I'm going to teach you these basic things. You don't need to know how to rewire your whole car, but you need to know how to change your light bulb.
Yep.
So we're going to learn these basic things together, and that will be the time for you to ask questions, for me to show you things, but the most they'll learn is by the questions. So just don't be afraid to ask questions, guys.
Yeah. I think the internet and YouTube, I put a plug in for YouTube because it is a great asset and a great tool, but I do think, though, that the internet has ruined that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, there's a lot of skills that are being lost because people are just referencing the internet. And I'm going to back this up with a brief story.
Okay.
So back in my old department, we had 2 new people that were assigned a task to teach a class on, I don't remember what the class was about, but it was over a tool or something. I want to say it was extrication tools. Like, give us a class on extrication tools, how to work them, how to use them, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what the topic was. So we sent them on their way. You guys are to work together and teach this class to us. We kind of know the information, but we want you to do the homework and teach a class.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them went to the office, and sat down. One sat at the computer, one sat on their phone at the chair that was right there next to the computer, and they started researching. Well, indirectly, both of them went to YouTube, and both of them were watching the same exact video apart, and they were both about probably, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 seconds apart.
Yeah.
So it was like an echo in the room. And neither of them realized that they're literally watching the same video on how to do something, but they're supposed to be working together to figure out like a plan.
Oh, goodness.
So it's like, okay, so you were just tasked with teaching a class together, and then you went on your own to
Separately.
watch the same video instead of watching it together and taking notes. And so that community is being lost.
Yeah, and instead of going to like, hey, who's the most senior guy in the department who's like done the most training?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe there's a guy who used to teach at the fire academy or used to give a bunch of trainings, and let's go sit down with him and ask him what his pointers are. Then we can watch the YouTube video. Maybe there's some like nitty gritty details in there that we should do, but let's go talk with this guy that has done this a bunch.
Yeah.
That's a good place to start.
It is a great place to start. And we even told them, like, you can ask for help. They could even ask one of us and gather the information that they wanted to be able to do it. And like in the firehouse, if as like a senior guy, I would try to take time, like, hey, just so you know, they're going to be asking you to teach this class. I'm going to teach this to you, and I want you to go on your own and get more information into this subject. And then I want you to then, so I'm literally helping them look good. And two, I'm trying to help them understand, like, okay, Nate taught me. Now I'm going to do my own homework and get more information that Nate didn't teach me. So I'm going to teach Nate something.
Nate gave me the resources of where to look for the information.
Yes.
Because oftentimes that's the hardest part is what's the first step? I don't know. So you have somebody come alongside you and say, hey, this is where you need to go look. Like, this is step one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, now I know where to look, and now I can succeed on my own thanks to the help that I got.
Yep.
But without that, I'm just wandering around aimlessly,
yeah.
Going to Google.
Yep. And I learn a lot from teaching other people stuff too.
Oh, yeah. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah. And it exposes a lot of things that I don't know. So I'm not a subject matter expert in really anything, but
Jack of all trades,
master of absolutely nothing. Yet. Yes, I will become a master at something.
It's our famous word, yet.
Yeah. It's always, everything's a progress around here.
Yeah. Not a good runner yet.
Or a swimmer.
You're not a good swimmer yet.
Yeah. But it's funny because I was talking to Lauren about that topic or whatever, and I alluded to it in one of our mini episodes of like, I'm not a good swimmer. I'm like a mediocre runner and whatever. I'm not really that great at anything, but I try to be. And she's like, well, you're killing it. The one thing that you're really good at? I said, what's that? Well, you're killing it at being a husband. And I'm like, I don't even think I'm doing that right. She's like, no, for real. And that meant a lot. But
buttering you up.
I think she was just trying to pick me up while I was licking my wounds after getting out of the pool. But that's one thing like I've always tried to do. I'm still trying to perfect it, of working with my hands and trying to be better at, because my dad had a lot he taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of things that he didn't teach me, and I had to learn how to do those things. So opportunities came up throughout my life and career. When I was working back in Georgia, there was a guy that we went to church with, and I asked him if he had any side work that he wanted done because I was trying to get some extra money for stuff. And he's like, well, can you frame a house? I'm like, no, I can't. And he's like, all right, well, come out. We got a job next week. Come out on this day at this time, and you can help us move boards. I said, okay. So I showed up with a set of work gloves and a cooler and a thing of water, and I started with just moving boards, and where he marked the boards, I laid the 2x4s down. He got green wood on the bottom, yellow wood up top, and for your top plate, and laid them all out based off the markings that he had. And then he handed me a hammer, and he said, all right, I want 2 nails. They go in right here. They have to be sunk a certain way. And I said, all right, so do that. Well, I did that for about 2 hours, putting up walls. And then I went to go grab the gun, and he said, no, you're not touching that gun. I said, oh, okay. He said, you haven't swung a hammer yet. And I said, I've been swinging it. He said, you haven't swung it correctly. I'm like, okay. So even me, I was, I don't know, maybe 23, 24 years old. I thought I knew how to swing a hammer until I watched him move that California hammer around.
Yeah.
He never touched a board with his hands. That hammer did all the work and like the nuances of a hammer. And by the end of the house, I was proficient at swinging a hammer, but that started with me asking if I could come work for him.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that question that he asked of like, do you know how to do this? And your response was no. I always follow up things that people ask me and I say no. I always follow up, but I'm really trainable. Like if you're willing,
that's a good
if you're
point.
willing to teach me, I'm very trainable.
Yeah.
I will pick it up.
Yep. And I didn't.
And I will try.
That also brings up a good point too of like, I said no, I don't, and I didn't allude to it, but I said, but I got a strong back and I'll work hard.
There you go.
That's essentially what I told him.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, well, come on out and you can move boards.
Yeah, because if you just say no to what they ask you, then they're going to be like, well, no, you're useless to me.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have a strong back and I can lift things.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, now I'm thinking of some things you can do around here.
Yep.
Or no, but I know how to read a tape measure and I've swung a hammer before. All right. Well, I think we can work with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for him and who he is because he took me on a job when the first couple hours I was really in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, but he had the patience to teach me, and he has a deadline. He has to get this house framed in a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was patient enough to teach me. So I'm thankful for guys like that. So if you are listening and you're one of the guys that has a skill and a young guy comes up to you and has a good work ethic, take him on and teach him. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know. So now I feel comfortable now having done a couple houses with him. I could go to a framing crew and at least have a basic understanding of how framing works.
Yeah.
I can't read the blueprints.
Learn exactly how they're doing it, and then you would jump right in.
Yeah. And like, okay, this is that. And I'll start with moving boards. And once we figure out the flow, we'll work together as a team and figure it out. So yeah, I'm thankful for that time, to be able to learn something.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just be good with your hands. Like just take action and try to learn something new.
Yeah. Take some initiative.
Even if it's uncomfortable for you,
And first you had to reach out to that guy to say, hey, do you need help or are you looking for this?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you took initiative up front in that aspect and said, hey, I need a job.
Yeah.
Need to make some money.
Yep.
And this is something I've never done before, but I'm willing to try it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's it. So
that is awesome.
Try to find a skill or something that you guys can do to better yourself and just be a man.
Be a man.
Be a man.
Be a handy guy.
I'm thinking of that country song, creamy lotiony hands, you can't grip a tackle box.
Yeah.
Like, that's perfect. Like, I don't know. You should at least have a couple calluses on your hands.
Yeah.
Like,
should know how to wire a light switch.
Yeah.
Know how to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fix a toilet.
Fix a toilet.
Stuff like that. I mean, anything like that is going to happen as you mature into adulthood and eventually get married and buy a house.
Yep.
I mean, stuff's going to go wrong.
Yep.
And all these trades, God bless these guys out there doing it for a living, but they're kind of expensive.
They are, yeah.
You want an electrician to come out and fix one light switch? Dude.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Don't kill yourself. Turn off the power first.
Yeah.
And then figure it out.
And then so I had another opportunity too, talking about this topic. Again, I was in a bind for money and I ran across a lady just through conversation and I said, I'm looking for work. I need to do something. Do you need any help? And she said, well, can you lay flooring? I said, never done it, but give me a little bit and I think I can figure it out. And she's like, okay, well, my dad's house flooded and I need all new flooring in a section of the house. I said, okay. So went over there, looked at it. We went to Home Depot together and I picked out the flooring. I had to read how to properly measure for the flooring. I had to look that up, found the flooring, got it ordered, and then scheduled to have it done. Let me tell you, it was an old house and I learned a lot in that time. I was there by myself doing this flooring job, ripping the old flooring out, putting the new flooring in. Took me a week to lay 2 rooms, which is embarrassing to say. But I feel comfortable now laying flooring in a house if I needed to. Like I learned how to do it, learned how to cut the jams, learned how to level the floor properly. I didn't do that initially and I had to tear it up and it cost more money. So a week's worth of work, which I was hoping, my goal was to make like $800 in that week, which is for flooring that's like really, really, really cheap to do. I think I walked away clean at $200 for a week's worth of work. But I learned something and
learned a valuable skill.
And so that is invaluable.
Yeah.
And there's been opportunities where
Cheaper than college.
yeah, people had a problem with their flooring and they're like, oh, I really need to fix this board. I'm like, oh, I can fix it for you. And they're like, oh, you can? You knew how to do that? Like, yeah, it's not hard. I can do it. Like, where'd you learn how to do that? Did you go to school for that? Like, no, I just learned it. Like, I've been asked that question before. I can fix that light for you. Oh, well, are you a handyman? I'm like, I guess you could say that. Yeah,
That's such a loose term that gets thrown around. It's like, you want me to be like a certified, licensed with handyman on my business card, or you want me to be a handy man? I'm a man that is handy and can do things.
Right. So
most of the time, they don't actually care about number one. They just want you to be handy and able to do it.
Yeah. I was just blown away when I was asked that question. Like, did you like go to school to learn how to change light fixtures? Like, no. Like 3 or 4 wires and a couple screws, man. It's not hard. I have it done in 30 minutes. Well, okay. And they get nervous about it.
Yeah.
And then
so you're not an electrician?
No, I'm not.
Can you turn that switch off for me and I'll get to work?
Yeah, it's so simple. And once you like get into it, you realize how simple some things are, and just build on that and just try to yeah.
We could probably talk on this for hours. We're sitting in my shop that, man, I built a bunch of this thing and did the electrical in here myself, but I say myself, but a friend of mine who's got some experience in it helped me. And then I called my dad with a bunch of questions about plumbing and electrical. Like, hey, how do I do this? And, I reached out to other people in my circle that knew how to do it. And then I learned and I feel so much more capable now than I did before I started this.
Yep.
So I'm grateful for that. And there's plenty of examples around us of, like, oh, I remember when I had to call and ask about that because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's true. And then you make yourself an asset to where you'll be able to maybe help somebody, and just because it's not an inconvenience for you to go up there and hang a light fixture for a 80-year-old widow that lost her husband. That you can't.
Or, I mean, the thing that none of us really think about, like, one day we're going to be in the position of our parents, and our son or grandson's going to be calling us like, hey, Dad, I got this going on. I don't know what to do. Like, your grandfather helped me with that back in the day.
Yep. Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, like, there's just one day that's going to be us. We're going to be the people that somebody calls. So I'd like to be useful when I'm called upon.
Yep.
Instead of being like, I don't know, look it up on YouTube.
Yep. I challenge you guys as our listeners to find something soon to be able to kind of challenge yourself and learn a new skill. Learn something new. And if you have to read about it, if you have to call a friend, whatever.
If it takes twice as long as you thought it would, so be it.
Yeah. So this is a challenge episode for you if you're not that handy. And, you might be really good at computer stuff. I don't know much about computers, and I have to call a friend every time I need to input something into Excel.
Every time I need to print something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or fixing technological things. That's not really my forte, but there's people out there that are good at things, and, in the world of computers, that's a skill. So just learn these skills and just be good at them, and you can grow from it, and you'll learn a lot from it, and you'll be a better man, better husband. Your wife will look at you like you're a superhero, super dad, whatever. And, it's really cool when you can fix something of your child's and they look at you like you are just king on earth, like you are.
Thank you so much, Dad.
Yeah, you fixed it.
You're like, all I did was change a battery.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we have for you guys today on the Suffer Up podcast with Nate and Ryan. We also just want to take a moment too and thank our sponsor, Sofsocs. They make a compression fitting sock for our feet. They're a toe sock. You can click on our bio and or link in the description as well, and be able to click there and our link tree and find Sofsocs there. We have a discount code, Suffer10. We love their socks. I also just did a 200-mile review on their socks as well. You can find that on our YouTube channel that we're slowly going to try to grow here soon with some reviews and race reviews and stuff. So lots of cool stuff coming. And
I think this episode's going to come out in time. If not, we'll just cut this part out. But if this doesn't come out, if this episode does come out before the middle of July, Nate over here is doing a 50K to raise money and benefit a organization called Next Rung.
Yep.
They provide mental health services to first responders and others. And the whole mission behind it is that he's going to run a 50K unsupported, and that represents the lack of support that mental health tends to get. So he's doing this to raise money and raise awareness for other people to get the support that they need.
Yeah. Really excited to do that. And if this does come out after the run, apologize, but I'll also do a review on that in my journey on the podcast as well. So follow our Instagram for updates on that. And I think we might do something like this once a year, maybe, or something, just to give back.
A fundraiser type deal.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. So we are all about building that community
and giving back
to those who are doing things. So we're very thankful for that. So please continue to tune into the Suffer Up podcast. This is a shorter episode today. Be handy with your hands. Go learn a new skill and just challenge your mind and your body. We love you guys so much. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Love you guys. Suffer Up.